Dude,
Dude.
I had a dream that we were back in Vegas.
Yeah, and we got to make a great vlog for the YouTube, and we should go back.
Yeah, but if we do, we got to make it bigger.
We can, bro.
Dare I even say it? Go all in?
Well, it is Vegas, and this time we can make it bigger. Dare I say we bet on ourselves?
Find somewhere where the real wrestling fans are?
The real friends of the podcast.
Dude, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
He's
There he is.
Oh, there he is. Hey, how did Enoch get your password?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
He came on
we got
saying he was at your
messages.
mom's pleasure palace and all this other stuff.
What?
I said
Yeah,
if this is Enoch, then
Okay.
you would know whose pleasure palace you filmed in.
That's okay. I just logged on right now. I just joined your little Zoom meeting thing. So,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
welcome.
thanks for being here.
well,
Thanks for being
hello.
here,
I mean, there's
Wexler.
Peter, and then there's TJ. I've known, unfortunately, TJ for the longest. I'm kidding, but
You know, you're
Yeah.
like the when we're at Ignite together, Miggy, before the show starts. I'm not giving anything away here because if you go, you're gonna see it. Wexler
should
will
go.
get booed by everyone
I don't get it.
in attendance. And then he'll come up to me and he'll raise my hand and the people cheer. The people love me. Of
I
course, they love
love
me a
you.
little bit more, but that's that's my own issue. That's my
I
own
should go
thing
one
for
of these
myself.
days. One of these days, I'm gonna make the drive and just go. I need to.
How you doing, Wexler?
Doing good. I'm very tired. I just drove back from San Diego, California for Survivor Series, and it was a really good time, I think. It was really um like I understand the perception as a viewer compared to as like being there in person. So like I mean I'm happy to discuss it with you guys. I mean that's kind of why I'm here.
Yeah,
Well, let me ask you this. So, I mean, that's dedication already. You're making the drive down there.
Mhm.
Depending on traffic in California, it's got to be hit or miss for how long it could take you to get to San Diego.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if TJ has mentioned this, but I live in a city called San Bernardino, California, which is
Okay.
about it's kind of the middle ground of Southern California because back in the day, I say back in the day, but it's like the 70s and 60s. It used to be where all the Hollywood actors and doctors would live.
Oh,
That
interesting.
time would passed. I think it was within the 80s, late 80s and early 90s where that started to change, where everybody that was in relatively rougher areas moved over here, and then that's when that transition came over. But yeah, it's weird. I mean, we were the first city to have McDonald's and have all
that's
this
true.
history and stuff like that. So San Bernardino is a special city in my eyes. I grew up here most of my life. And yeah, but going back to your question, yeah. So um, San Bernardino is like the weird middle ground to everything. So like I don't know how it is where you are, but like think of it as like if LA and San Diego, depending on traffic, could be like 2.5 hours, close to three. From where I am, I'm in that middle ground. Like from my house to San Diego is about an hour and 30, give or take, with traffic. From here to Dream Slam, especially if we're going towards like I don't know, like Orange
Long
area.
Beach this weekend for Winter
Long,
Wonder
well,
Slam.
well, right. Long Beach. That's insane that you did a plug. Shout out to Dream Slam. Then that's about Long Beach is kind of like an hour and 30, maybe give or take
Okay.
an hour. And then but it's weird because like Orange County is like an hour, but like it's less traffic than it is going to like LA. So it's a weird middle.
You
Interesting.
know what, Wexler? I'll pick you up and you'll get there in 45 minutes. All right.
That's insane.
I used to be
Well,
a pizza guy for 6 years. I know my way around these streets.
he worked for one of those pizza places where if it's not there within 20 minutes, you get it for free. He had a good average of 21 minutes, which is perfect. Uh, but no, you asked what it's like where I am. The sun is kind of the center point of where I'm located. I'm wearing a tank top and short shorts right now because it was a hot day here today. So
Arizona, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends that live over there, and I know there's two wrestling promotions I think that are still going on. I know there's PWAZ, I think,
Yep.
I remember, and then I don't, to my knowledge, I believe there's one called Arizona Wrestling Federation. I
Yep.
think, yeah. So I,
AWF, been to quite a few AWF shows. IZW is another one that runs out
the
here.
other one, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and there's some smaller ones too. There's like this weird death match scene that's really popping up here too over by my house. I haven't gone to any of their shows, but they post a lot asking for people to donate light tubes that are out of service that don't work anymore.
That that
So
is that is dangerous within itself.
yeah. So what it but you were there at the show
Mhm.
and you said something that's like I know the perception of TV, but it was different being at the show. I've heard a lot of people what were your seats like? Because I've heard a lot of people complaining about the view of the show.
Yeah, so I was on section 39. So the way it works, especially when it was over at Petco Park, it's a beautiful stadium, don't get me
Oh
wrong.
yeah, wonderful. I've been there.
It,
One of the
it's
best.
yeah, as you know, being there, it's a beautiful stadium from top to bottom. And I was on section 39, so it was on the floor. So how do I explain it? So like, it was like field. It's like on the field. Because there is like the field itself is like huge,
Back
dude. It's like
freeze.
freaking
Oh,
yeah.
there you
So yeah, it's like back and forth, like going from one end all the way to the other. So yeah, I was section 39. I was kind of like in that area of the floor. It was actually funny when I went down to my seat, they gave me this big old wristband. It's like, you got floor access. I'm like, what? What?
How
So
long ago did you buy the tickets?
so it's funny. I bought the ticket um like 2 weeks ago,
Wow.
Okay.
and they
Okay.
were not even $200.
Now, was there something that's bananas? Um,
Yeah, because Monday Night
was
Raw is
there
here tomorrow night, and I can't find a ticket for less than $100 if I want to sit somewhere decent.
Yeah, I think it depends on timing and where you find it. Like I got lucky with Ticketmaster, and I got those for that price. Um, I mean, again, TickPick, SeatGeek, any of those websites, if you know what I mean. Like, and especially the closer you get to it, like maybe just check the morning of and be like, hey, I'm looking for a certain section, a certain amount, and hopefully you'll find it. Maybe because it's Monday Night Raw, and we don't know who the masked person was, even though I feel like we all know who
Yeah.
it is based on the structure. But yeah, just shout out to SeatGeek, shout out to TickPick. I am not sponsored by any of them, but
We should be.
yeah,
All
no
of us.
no one is
They should.
sponsoring anything on this podcast. You don't have to worry about that.
insane.
Let me
One
dig
day.
into your let me dig into your fandom a little bit. Like I want to talk to Wexler the fan, the Mark. What did you think of the show?
Okay, so just to answer that question, and yeah, so that's what I thought. But no,
That was good. That was
I
funny. I like that.
I
He's all right.
I think that T but no, I honestly think that it was honestly the show. If I was thinking, I always go to every show with an open mind. I always try to go with like a how they always say with moviegoers, if you're a movie person, like
Yep.
if you go into a movie with an open mind, if you don't read the comic books, if you don't look at the past films, um they'll make the experience better. So I went into this with an open mind. I'm like, okay, the men's war games is stacked, and then pretty much for 4 matches, it was pretty stacked lineup. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how to describe how I would think of the show, because I think the show was pretty solid. But see, that could be by bias of being at the show. It could be bias of, you know what I mean? Because like there's a difference between seeing it from home and being in person for it. I think if I was to look at the show at home, I think it was probably like a solid show, like I said, a B. Because I was there, maybe a B plus, just because of the atmosphere and all that. Um, I the do I think some stuff could have changed? Yeah, like of course there's no shark cages. You know what I mean? There's no this. There's no
Miggy hated that.
I
That was the
texted
first thing he
TJ
texted me
saying
about.
how like I don't curse that much on the show. That was bullshit. I hated that.
dang
I was
It's
not
crazy.
a fan of
He
not
doesn't
having the shark
cuss.
cages.
insane. But
Yeah.
yeah,
What was your favorite match of the night?
my favorite match of the night. Honestly, and I think not a lot of people are giving it a lot of love, but I think the women's war games match. I think it, I think that one was the true war games match compared to the main event. I get the main event because not all the stars, we use weapons and stuff like that. But like the women's war game, shout out to everybody involved. I mean, Io brought a trash can lid with her logo on it. Like, and she did the spot that she's done like the past 3 years, but
Yeah.
it's still cool to like, see the creativity involved, see the kendo sticks involved, see a table. You know what I mean? Or no, there wasn't a table on that one, but like the creativity of it, I think, was better. And then to have the ending of AJ Lee tapping out Becky Lynch, and kind of continue their rivalry a little further, and then keeping both teams kind of strong in that sense. So um, I liked it. I think it was very enjoyable to watch. Maybe the second favorite, obviously, I think everybody said it in here probably, is the John Cena and Dominic Mysterio match. Um, you know what I mean? Because that's Cena's final pay per view, and I think the way that they treated it with Liv coming back, and having that turn was cool. Um, did I prefer Liv? Not necessarily. I think maybe on this day that was the whole joke, because we all saw the thing online where, oh, Jinder Mahal's coming back. Really?
WWE was trolling that guy that lived in the apartment.
Yeah. So it was cool. I think, yeah, but to go back on your question, I think it was the women's war games match. That was my favorite of the night.
Very
Fair
nice.
statement. It was the
Floor is
better of the
yours,
two war
Miggy.
games matches. It was the better of the two war games matches for sure was the women's. Um, well, my favorite war games match of the year was the women's blood and guts match, but my favorite match last night
Mm-hmm.
probably was the Xena match too. I don't know. It was an okay show for me. The lack of shark cages I got a little annoyed with in the first match. I loved Rhea in general was my favorite part of the night though. I mean, I had my Rhea Ripley Art the Clown shirt on that I bought the night before. Art the Clown is like my favorite thing ever right now. I have the giant Art the Clown inside of my house.
Mm.
It's
Um
spooky.
yeah, it's a giant Art the Clown animatronic that I'm gonna keep in my house year long. Um so that was probably my favorite part of the night, but the match itself was probably the John Cena match. I
Okay.
feel like it would have been the men's war game match if we didn't take the dance break in the middle of it.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird spot, but I mean, people were yeeting all over the place. I mean,
I understand why they did it because the audience, like you said, they would have gone along with it.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
as a
they wanted
viewer,
the
it was just
visual.
like, and thank God they started bleeding because if they did a dance break in a War Games match and then didn't bleed after the match was over, when you bring someone like Brock Lesnar back. So thank you, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes.
Well, what did you guys think of the end though? Like do you think we're going back to Cody Roman 3? Because that makes me kind of excited. We're not going to WrestleMania, but just going to WrestleCon
Dude,
for now. For now.
there's nothing they could do, I think, to get me excited for whatever the main event is gonna be.
Hmm.
Which is sad because I feel like all the plays have already, like all these matches have already happened. I don't want to see Seth and Cody. I don't want to see Roman and Cody. I don't want to see Brock and Roman. I don't maybe CM Punk and Roman, but I doubt that's going to happen. So I don't know. Just whatever.
Yeah.
That's my. By the time Wexler, or by the way, Wexler, I complain. I know. I complain about a WrestleMania very much. I'm scarred by it emotionally.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I truly, and that's what I think about WrestleMania.
You know, I kind of like it when he talks and I can't hear him.
You know what? That is absolutely.
So let me ask you this then. We've talked about you a lot on the podcast, but I don't think
Uh-huh.
we've ever had you actually on the podcast, at least not since I have been
Ghost me,
a
bro.
co-host.
Well, there's a good
Um,
reason for that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
and you're well, no, and you're heavily involved in the Southern California professional wrestling scene. You got a really good um social media following. You might play basketball or you might be a prop. I don't know,
No, this is a
but
problem.
okay, but you know, if it's okay with you, TJ, I'd like to get in a little bit to the history of Mr. Mike Wexler here.
A little Wexler 101.
Yeah, some Wexler lore.
Wow, some little sock monkey history.
Yeah,
Look,
I might,
he's gonna pull up his resume. He's gonna pull up his resume and read it to us.
I just, what I really want to know is, because obviously wrestling's a big part of your life. I'm just curious on what got you into wrestling that made you want to pursue,
Mhm. What are
Miggy
you guys
Miggy
laughing at?
asked this question to everyone, every wrestler that's ever been on. Enoch, for God's sakes.
Yeah, we made that mistake.
Even
Because then
even
started talking about Liza's Pleasure Palace.
What are we talking
Eliza's,
about?
that's who it was.
Yeah,
That's a movie he's been in.
Enoch starred in
Liza's
Liza's
Pleasure
Pleasure
Palace.
Palace, which you can't find anywhere online, so I can't confirm or deny what kind
Well,
of
it's
movie that is,
IMDb. It's
as much as I want
IMDb.
to watch it. But my question is that what is your what was your moment in wrestling? You're like, God, I've loved this sport,
Mm.
or at
Oh,
least your earliest memory that you have.
earliest memory of wrestling was that's crazy because I kind of grew up with wrestling all my life. I mean, my parents, my mom, my aunt, and my grandfather um loves professional wrestling, and like it started from the WWF days and then even before that. Speaking about San Bernardino, back in back in the day, in the 80s and all early 90s too. I mean, Raw would always go to I can't the Fox Theater over in San Bernardino, which is a very historic venue. I mean, they're having AAA actually going to be there. I think it's this week, if not it's
Interesting.
next week. But I mean, historic venue, and they would host a lot of these big shows. Like they would host some Monday Night Raws. They would some host, um, some big names that WWF would be in the city of San Bernardino. Because again, it used to be the Hollywood. If you're on your way to
The
Hollywood,
Mecca.
San Bernardino. So, but yeah, my earliest memory, I think, it's just honestly, man, like I grew up with the Ruthless Aggression era. I didn't grow up with the Attitude era. I didn't grow
Right.
up with the Golden era, or even beyond that, back when Bruno Sammartino and Larry Zbyszko was on top. No, I grew up with people like Eddie Guerrero. I grew up with people like John Cena, who just had last night his last PLE, even though I still call it a pay per view. Event before Saturday night's main event on December 13th. And it's crazy to think that seeing how much has changed from at this point over 20 years ago to now is crazy because it's like I remember watching as a kid watching JBL, who I believe to this day is the greatest undisputed champion to ever hit God's green earth. um
It's a hot
yeah,
take, Wex.
that is, well, I'm saying undisputed under that championship design. I don't think as a whole, but yeah, just remember seeing him, seeing Eddie Guerrero, um and seeing like all that rivalry unfold. And then of course Edge and Cena, Randy Orton doing the whole legend killer thing. His rivalry with the Undertaker was, in my opinion, I think that's not even a rivalry a lot of people talk about anymore. So I feel like
Good
people should
point.
revisit that, back in the 2005 era. But yeah, just stuff like that, man. And little by little, I went through the dark ages of professional wrestling fans, like, the back when SmackDown was just like 2014, or not even before that, like 2010 to like 20, before the brand split thing, of just like it was just the recap show to Raw. So and I love the sport, man. I love everything about it. So, but if there's a specific moment, it was Eddie Guerrero beating Brock Lesnar at No Way Out 2004.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's a good one.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you a
No. That's
question regarding. Now, I posted or I commented this on Instagram or something.
Okay.
You said you grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era, yada yada.
he said his favorite wrestler was Sylvain Garnier.
What's wrong with Sylvain Grenier? I mean, he's not my favorite wrestler.
Nothing. Oh, I thought that's what you said. Sorry.
No,
Renee.
Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler of all
Oh,
time.
that's right. I'm sorry.
Hey, shout out to Sylvain Grenier.
Friend of the
Old as
podcast,
Sylvan.
Sylvan. Okay, and Miggy, this goes for you too. Is Rey Mysterio the greatest babyface of all time? I say yes.
Oh,
I
man.
don't.
Oh,
You what?
I don't. I think it's
Oh, I
Dusty
think you're
Rhodes.
wrong.
ooh.
I
Okay.
think it's Dusty Rhodes.
So, what qualifies as the greatest baby face of all time? Like, does that mean they've never turned heel once,
He
or are we
never turned heel
qualifying that
once, but
they
he's also been. He's got that Jeff Hardy thing about him, where everyone loves him, no matter what. The only
Hmm.
thing that I would say Ray has over someone like Jeff Hardy is he's never attempted the heel turn. He was never a part of a tag team that, like, Jeff Hardy always had Matt Hardy. They had, like, their thing together.
Well, that's
You
a
could
good
say
point
that,
too,
like,
because
you could even
people
say
had
that
always
Hulk
feel bad for
Hogan.
him.
You could say that, like, Hulk Hogan was the greatest babyface of all time, but he wasn't a babyface for as long as Rey Mysterio has been. Rey Mysterio's always been a babyface.
And are we qualifying that they're still active to this day, or are they? Can they be retired?
Well, let me tell you this, brother. When Hogan came back in January, he got booed.
I think the great.
Presented as a face, but he got booed.
Let's see. Okay, so they were never once. Oh, that's interesting. I'd say maybe. Well, no, because Stone Cold was a heel, like he multiple times. The Rock was a
Stone
heel.
Cold was also not in it nearly as long at the level.
It has to be that stature too of like 20 plus years. Okay, that's the greatest baby face. 20 years.
20
I
years at least because he was still in ECW and WCW.
Well, in WCW, I mean, when he lost his mask, he was kind of a heel for a little bit.
Ugh, that doesn't count, though.
man, I don't know. Give me
It doesn't count because it
psychosis.
was so bad. Give you what? Give you what?
Psychosis.
Psychosis? You already got psychosis. I don't need to give it to you.
Sorry.
Very good.
Um, yeah, so psychosis, yes, is the greatest thing. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Shout out to psychosis though.
I know. What's it
I
called?
prefer,
I
you know
love
what's funny?
Psychosis. I like that answer.
I prefer psychosis with the mask than when he was unmasked, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree with that, and I feel like Psychosis does not get the respect he deserves, dude. There should have been a much better Psychosis run in WWE,
And not a part of the Mexicools.
and not a part of the Mexicools. Like, listen, Psychosis, yeah, deserved a better run. Super Crazy deserved a better run. Juventud Guerrera kind of was a jerk to me when I met him. So,
He's cool. I mean, he's cool people, I think.
is he? All right.
Yeah, the juice is loose, and he came in with the mask and then he wrestled without. It was weird. I don't know.
What'd you guys think of when he showed up in Dynamite that one night to Wrestle Jericho?
I
Didn't
did like that.
MJF have like
Yeah, you
his
know
thing
what?
going on?
Fun fact, he was at an EWF show, Empire Wrestling Federation. It's based in San Bernardino and all the Inland Empire. And as TJ being in Redlands. Um, it was cool because he was there, I think, the week after he was on Dynamite. If not,
I
it was
think I remember that.
yeah. And he was really cool people. But okay, so but for real, greatest babyface of a 20-year span. I would have no, because people say Cena, but Cena was a heel at one
And
point.
Cena was a phenomenal heel at one point.
Yeah,
Like
like
he was a great heel.
And he also got booed by half the audience when he was a babyface.
but see that doesn't count though. That's
That
like
doesn't count.
that's like saying Roman. But Roman was
Yeah.
booed because he was a babyface. So okay, so we're quantifying that it had to be over a span of Rey Mysterio's career. But wait, Rey was a heel at one point though during that run. In WCW, he was a heel.
Look, I didn't write the criteria before I asked the question. I was just asking the question because if we're going off that logic, if that one heel turn doesn't count, well then Sting to me is the best babyface of all time.
Well, to me, it's Savon Grenier.
the Von Shout out
Better
to
to burn out than
dude.
fade away.
I'm such a huge I don't even want to say fan. I'm such a huge admirer for the mid card division of the Ruthless Aggression era. I feel like if we could talk about it for all the time that we have here, which probably not, but like Sylvain Grenier, Robert Conway, okay, Rob Conway
Yeah. Rob
was
Conway was pretty good.
literally his last match was against Jeff Hardy on a random episode of Monday Night Raw, and he literally just says, "I quit," and then that was it. That's the last we saw. That's the last we saw of him. Him, Sylvain,
Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas.
yeah, like
Lance Storm.
Simon Dean,
Okay. Yeah. No. I was always a big John Heidenreich guy.
Snitsky.
Yeah.
Snitsky's the greatest person to never win the Intercontinental Championship.
And he's one of the nicest individuals on the entire planet.
And
Yeah,
easily the best place kicker on the whole roster.
Yeah, easily.
This
I'd
man-
like to see him and Pat McAfee, who could punt a baby farther.
This man punted a baby and destroyed a forced marriage.
But it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault.
If you're being technical, and it's not really his fault because the way that Kane kind of leaned forward.
We got about 5 minutes. This is great. We should just talk shop like this some other time. Because this is way better than Survivor Series and what we're doing right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry for your report being about mid Carters in the
no. Okay. I mentioned Shelton.
I'm kidding.
What was that?
I said Brad Maddox.
So you said
I've seen that
JBL
guy
is
before.
the
He
best
starred in that one movie I
undisputed
watched.
champion.
He is
the best. Who is the best ruthless aggression heel? Is it him?
Oh, JBL. The closest second. People say Triple H was, and I agree to a certain degree. But the problem was the length of the rivalry between him and Shawn Michaels was a little longer than I think people had hoped for, because the way that at least in 2K they're counted it is that like it started in 02, which is true, but like you're counting the separation that happened in WrestleMania 19, because remember Triple H faced off against Booker T and Shawn Michaels faced Chris Jericho. And by the way, one of the best WrestleMania matches that Shawn Michaels ever had. I'm just saying that out loud. Mm-hmm. And I just don't like how they separated that, but they still counted that as them being in a rivalry. That's kind of like having a novella, and then all of a sudden you have this break, but they're still telling that story, and even though that story is not being involved, kind of makes no sense.
I gotcha.
But yeah,
for me, it's a toss up between JBL and Kane.
But was Kane really I don't think he was a heel. I think he was just a tweener that like no one understood him. That's how I took him. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Shane, but as soon as he tombstones Linda McMahon, we're like, damn. Shane just comes in,
You,
almost
you know
dies
who
a
was
couple
a
times.
you know who was a pretty crazy heel at one point? Mid card guy, Umaga.
I thought you were gonna say Muhammad Hassan. I'm like, bro.
Um,
Throw him in there too.
Umaga, I think Umaga's one of the greatest John Cena opponents to never win the world title.
easily, easily.
This has
But
been great.
yeah, thank you for coming
Sorry,
on. I
sorry for
appreciate
ruining
it.
the podcast.
No, no, I appreciate you coming on, but it's also because I don't really know you. To be fair.
You know what, Mig?
I'm gonna put the dolphin noises over the cussing
This weekend.
like in
But
SpongeBob.
no, seriously, man, thank you for coming on. We'll have
Yes.
to have you on again. Where can people find you and what you got going on?
Well, they can follow me at Sock Monkey Mike. It's literally on the little screen. Like, you probably can't see it, but it's Sock Monkey Mike right there on all social media platforms. Huge shout out to Miggy. Huge shout out to TJ Stone King, or just TJ, or whatever you want to just call him. I'm obviously met him before I met you, unfortunately.
God, am I making you
And
nervous or something? Jeez, it's like a first date or something.
and wow. And I think and, and I want to say thank you guys for having me on. I know you guys called me out, which was crazy.
Several times.
Several times. So yeah, like I said, Survivor Series I thought was great. Shout out to my favorite mid card wrestler from the 2000s. Shout out to, oh god, what was his name?
Wow.
I remember. Give huge shout out to Sylvester Turkay.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one.
I'm
That's a
sorry,
good.
Turkay. I'm sorry, Turkay.
No, that's a good one. That is a good one.
TJ is
Um,
looking at me like he doesn't know who that is.
I could go down a whole Sylvester Terkay rabbit hole of what he does now. We'll have to do another episode of just that because I know the amount of things I know about that man is insane.
He seems like a cool guy.
He does seem like he'd be a really cool
he's
guy.
from Big Bear, and I'm like, okay.
What a
I love it.
name.
Well, yes, no, seriously though, thank you again for coming on. And we'll talk. Follow us
Am I
everywhere.
gonna see you this weekend at Dream Slam?
Sure. Wait, do I leave, or are you guys gonna just end the episode and I'll still?
No, it ends. It ends. We're on a time limit.
Yeah, I'll kick you out. You don't have to worry about it. Wait, so are you gonna be at Dream Slam or not?
I that's the plan. I think.
Okay. Right arm. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, follow Wex on all the stuff he just told you about. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and we'll talk to you later.
Later.